Welcome to the deep dive. We are back,
Back again.
and today we are looking into the wild ride of Fanny's journey as she hitchhikes across the Atlantic. Fanny's experience is just this incredible example of, well, adapting to extreme change.
It really is.
Mm.
Last time, we left Fanny and Laura right as they finally stepped onto solid ground after that grueling 15-day catamaran journey.
Yeah, after being tossed around on the waves for so long. But, and this is the crazy part, their island time is cut shockingly short. So today we're going to explore Fanny's, immediate emotional roller coaster when she realizes they have to leave the island so soon. And then, of course, the wild ride just continues with an unexpected change of scenery and even more new challenges. Buckle up, folks.
Yeah, this is where the adventure really kicks into high gear.
Okay, so last time we left off, Fanny and Lara were just soaking up the island, right? This brief but intense experience. She talks about the heat, like this thick blanket, and the air, this amazing mix of salty ocean and the smell of grilled fish.
You can almost feel it, can't you? The sensory overload.
Totally, it's so vivid. But what really struck me was their disbelief. Like, can you imagine crossing an ocean and ending up in what feels like a dream?
It really highlights that contrast. With their everyday lives. It's so compelling. Fanny even exclaims about how different this is from waking up in her tiny bedroom. It just hits you how incredible their adventure is. Like those moments when your own reality suddenly feels extraordinary.
Exactly, and they're just riding that wave. Fanny calls it a joyride of mindless reflection, but then bam, it's over. The crew calls them back to the boat for restocking. That transition back to reality must have been jarring.
Oh, absolutely. It underscores the fact that this isn't simply a vacation for them, but a leg in a much larger journey. And, with practical considerations, you can't just stay on a beautiful island forever. The need to restock interrupts that island idle and highlights how even those moments of respite are temporary. It reminds us that even challenging endeavors have these pauses, but they always serve a larger purpose.
And Fanny's reaction, oh boy, she's devastated. Her heart sinks, and she even compares it to being dragged to the dentist without anesthesia.
Oh.
Ouch, right?
It's intense. But that primal resistance to leaving solid ground, especially after being at sea for so long, you can't blame her. I mean, think about it. That relief of finally feeling solid ground under your feet, your stomach at ease, no more seasickness.
Those become precious comforts.
They do. And losing that so quickly, of course, it triggers a strong emotional response. It makes you realize how deeply our physical well-being can impact our emotions, especially during times of significant change.
It's a good reminder. But hey, the journey continues. And thankfully, the next leg is much shorter. They're headed to the British Virgin Islands. And get this, Fanny admits she wasn't even really familiar with the BVI before this.
Like one discovery leading to another. So perfect for someone like you, always eager for new knowledge.
Right, and it fits perfectly with the theme of embracing the unexpected. But, no adventure is without its bumps, and sure enough, they hit a snag. What Fanny calls a minor crisis.
Minor crisis.
The autopilot, it stops working.
Oh, no.
Suddenly things get a lot more, shall we say, hands-on.
That's an interesting twist. It forces them to engage with their journey in a much more direct way. No autopilot means manual steering.
Yeah.
And that demands serious physical and mental effort. It's a good reminder that even with all our fancy technology, sometimes you just have to rely on basic skills, human effort, when facing challenges.
And Fanny describes it so vividly, how exhausting it is, the constant strain of holding the wheel against the ocean, that intense focus, her arms are just burning. It sounds relentless.
Absolutely. It emphasizes those raw physical demands of travel, even what we think of as modern travel. And the fact that they had to take 2-hour shifts. It highlights the need for teamwork, shared responsibility when things get tough. How often do we find that dividing a burden makes it much easier to bear?
All the time. It's a really good point. But those steering shifts with Laura, they actually became a bonding experience. Sharing stories and laughter. It's often those connections that get us through tough times, isn't it?
Without a doubt. Shared experiences, especially challenging ones, they forge stronger bonds. Working together towards a common goal, like even something as physically demanding as steering a boat, fosters deeper connections and mutual support. And amidst all the struggle, there's also those small moments of unexpected pleasure, like enjoying ice cream under the hot sun. Just those bursts of normalcy in an extraordinary situation.
Those little things can make such a difference. And Fanny even starts to feel more confident learning to steer. She becomes so much more involved in the journey. It's fantastic.
This is such an important part of adapting to new circumstances. Fanny isn't just along for the ride. She's actively learning and developing skills in response to the challenges. That willingness to learn and contribute, that's a key element of resilience,
Yeah.
especially in uncharted territory.
Then they finally reach the BVI, and, well, things take this unexpected turn. They're introduced to the crew's friends, and these friends, they own even bigger yachts. Talk about a change in social environment.
Wow, that's quite a shift. It really puts their initial hitchhiker experience into perspective. Suddenly they're exposed to this world of extreme wealth. It's a great way to broaden your perspective, challenge assumptions about different ways of life.
Fanny even calls it surreal, rubbing shoulders with people who own these floating mansions. It's a different universe. You can practically hear her thinking, how did we end up here?
That feeling of being out of place, of witnessing a reality so different from your own, it can be disorienting, for sure, but also incredibly insightful. And you Fanny's aware of being underdressed, but she's still welcomed. It suggests a level of acceptance that goes beyond appearances, which is an interesting observation on its own.
Right, and then she talks about being taken on a tour of this massive catamaran, multiple stories. She says it was bigger than most apartments she'd lived in. The sheer scale of it.
It's almost unimaginable. It really shows the vast spectrum of human experience. And speaking of vast, the description of the food station on this luxury yacht, it's almost comical compared to their weeks of basic rations.
Oh, the food, it's amazing. Fanny describes it like an angelic choir singing, a table overflowing with bite-sized masterpieces. You can almost taste that relief and indulgence after weeks of, well, simpler meals.
It's such a vivid description. It emphasizes the impact of experiencing abundance after a period of scarcity, like a reminder of how our appreciation for simple pleasures can be heightened after hardship.
Absolutely, but the whirlwind continues. They go from this high society scene straight into the untouched wilderness of the BVI. What a change of pace.
That rapid transition really showcases the unpredictable nature of their journey and the constant need to adapt, from luxury to raw, natural beauty.
It sounds idyllic. Pristine white sand, swaying palm trees, dense jungle, and just a lone wooden hut. It's like a postcard. But then, paddleboarding. And Fanny admits to feeling that familiar anxiety about the open water.
It's a vulnerable moment. Despite all she's faced, that fear persists. But her willingness to confront it, even in this beautiful setting, speaks volumes about her growing resilience.
Doesn't it? And then as she paddles out, the sun sets. She describes this almost transcendent experience, the sky exploding with color, the water so clear she can see the fish below. It sounds magical.
It's fascinating how immersing herself in the beauty of her surroundings allows her to gently approach her fear. The tranquility of the water, the visuals, they seem to have a calming effect. It allows her to take that first real attempt at facing her anxiety.
And it definitely builds her courage, because the next morning she's staring into this deep blue abyss, getting ready to jump. You can feel her internal struggle, forcing herself to remember all her previous moments of courage.
That internal dialogue is so powerful, consciously recalling past successes to build confidence in the face of fear. It's like she's telling herself, I've come too far to let fear win now. What a powerful affirmation.
And then she jumps, the way she describes it being swallowed whole, that weightlessness, and then surfacing with laughter, feeling more alive than ever. It's such a powerful image of overcoming a personal barrier.
It's truly a moment of letting go. Literally and figuratively, she realizes, I had let go, and I was free. It's about the liberation that comes from confronting your fears. It makes you think, what deep blue abyss in your own life are you hesitant to jump into?
It's a powerful question, and it really captures the essence of Fanny's journey in this segment. The roller coaster of emotions, the disappointment at leaving that first island, the surreal encounters in the BVI, and then finally, that feeling of liberation. Her experience highlights how quickly circumstances can change, and, how important it is to be adaptable and open to new experiences.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
That contrast between wanting the comfort and stability of land and then being thrown into these diverse and challenging situations, it underscores the unpredictable nature of adventure and personal growth. The University of Life, as Fanny calls it, throws a lot at you, but it teaches you so much.
It really does. And it's those smaller victories along the way, like learning to steer or facing her fear of open water, that contribute to that larger sense of freedom. It makes you think about those seemingly small challenges in our own lives that might actually be huge opportunities for growth.
Exactly. And Fanny's story leaves us with that powerful image, surrendering to the vastness of the ocean and finding freedom in that act. What fears are you holding on to that, if released, could lead to a similar feeling of liberation? It's something to ponder as you continue on your own unique journey.
It is. So much to think about. And as always, thank you for joining us on the deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.